We have our portions of the HUD at the bottom. Well, the green health bar, that's obvious. The red energy bar, that's for when you're attacking. And then there's an orange bar, but we'll get to that once we actually have a weapon. Right now we got ourselves a little situation. There's a chasm that we need to jump over, but well, if you try jumping a bit, you'll notice that your jump is kinda small. You know, kinda a bit above the average of the human jump height. Maybe a bit unrealistic as well, but it's definitely not something that a human can easily achieve. And for one, you're not going to jump over this pit at your current capabilities. What you need to do is play by the game's rules and beat the shit out of this corpse. What just happened? We took that frog's corpse apart and absorbed its meat for DNA. Now you can see a new bar that has appeared, the blue mutation bar. This just shows that you have enough DNA to do mutations. If it's completely drained out, you can't do any more mutations at the time. If it's flashing like it is right now, well, not really flashing, blinking is more like the word I'm looking for. It means that you have a new trait that you can mutate your Genohunters to have. So let's do that. Press M, and you'll be taken to the mutation screen. You will be given the primary view of your Genohunter, how he looks like right now, and if you press mutate, some mutation choices will be made for you. You can keep clicking the button as many times as you want to make new mutations, but that's not really recommended. And this is where you realize that choosing colors for your Genohunters was kind of a dumb thing to do. I chose them because I felt special and because I'm Paul the Richest from DaGameTrain. But in the end, their colors will change drastically because with each new mutation, your colors will keep changing. You know, adopting new traits and shit. You'll also be able to get some new abilities. Like right now, either one of these mutations will give me jump, which will improve my jumping height. So I want that. You can actually switch out to the other Genohunters while in this screen. Just use the F keys, F1 to F4. They are the same keys used to switch to other Genohunters while in the regular screen, like, you know, while playing normally. Once all of your guys have the mutations selected, accept the changes, and your boys will flash in a glorious radiant light. Now you can jump higher, which is good. In fact, it's so good, you should be able to jump that chasm now. Let's see if I'm going to succeed. And yes, I did! The AI is smart enough to make the jumps for you most of the time. I only seen it fuck up a few times. It's mostly going to happen because you fucked up as well. So at least it's nice to know that the AI is not entirely stupid. There's some rocks here, but you can't do anything about them. Not quite yet. We got an objective. Gain genetic sample from any non-indigenous life forms. That frog over there, that's indigenous life form. Practically anything that isn't actively trying to murder you is indigenous, which means it lives here. If you ever wondered what indigenous means, it means that it's a creature or person that lives in this area. You know, native to the region. And non-indigenous would be the alien creatures that came from that egg from space. There's some more indigenous life forms over there. The ostriches. They have another trait which we could really benefit from. Let's kill them off and claim it for ourselves. Can we actually do it without sacrificing jump? Yes, we can. Now we can claim speed as our new ability. And some of them can even get a little boost to jump. or a big boosted jump, whichever you prefer. Doesn't matter, but now we have the ability to run a little faster than before, thanks to the ostrich DNA. They are adapted for running the fuck away, unlike this guy who got stuck on the wall. But at this point you're wondering, what's the point of killing the ostriches now? Why would I want to kill more of these guys if I already got what I wanted? Well, that is a good question. You see, we are the Geno Hunters, and our primary thing while doing our mission is to collect DNA to mutate. Without DNA we can't really mutate. We gotta have some kind of genetic sample. And it also happens that our abilities right now are at level 1 out of 5. We can have up to 5 levels on every ability that is unlockable here. So it is a good idea to collect extra samples from these creatures, because if you can level up your traits even more, you can be even better. And why wouldn't you want to be even better? You're not a scrub, are you? Chasing the ostriches through water is actually a good idea right now because, well, they slow down in water. And you can actually catch up with them now that you have the speed ability. In the future, keep in mind that adopting new abilities as early as I did with these two abilities is not a very good idea. You want to adopt them or upgrade them as late as possible, like when you kill a lot of things, because that way you'll accumulate a lot of DNA. It'll become more apparent as to why this is a good idea once we actually get to that point. But let's just say it is very beneficial. There's some corpses of the ostriches here for you, in case you couldn't catch up to any of the living ostriches. Anyway, go through here, and we should encounter some new life forms. In fact, they are right here, the non-indigenous parasite guardian life forms, in the form of a regular spider. Some people refer to them as crabs actually, because, well, I guess they have claws, and usually spiders have 8 legs, these guys only have 4. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they will try to kill you, among other things. In fact, they'll try to kill anything that is considered dangerous by them. So it's your job to kill them first, before they kill you. Now these melee spider guardians, I'll call them spider guardians for the sake of simplicity. They're not particularly powerful, which is why you'll see them go around in larger groups. They'll never go around all by themselves. There will always be at least 3 of them, so that they can match you in, well, numbers. Somewhat. But that's okay, because even with our fists we can beat them up to the pulp. Ooh. This is where you can figure out that maybe killing them was actually a good idea. They have a trait which will allow us to break through rock, which we haven't adopted yet actually, but we will as soon as we are done collecting their corpses for our nefarious deeds. Alright, well, we kinda need to adopt the ability right now, so let's get to it. Go back to the mutation screen, and you are now presented with claws. Yes, you can grow giant claws on your fists, but don't worry, they're only, well, mostly superficial. You see, they're only attached to you, they're not really an extension of you anymore, but we'll get to that once we actually get more weapons. Now that we have claws, we actually can do more melee damage, and we can break through stone. Very helpful. This is where also that orange bar shows up. If you hold down shift, you will be able to do what the manual refers to as beam up. I call it charge up. You can charge up your attack to deal more damage and actually do a different kind of an attack. With the claws, it's just a stronger swipe, that's about it. You do one strong swipe, which can usually either severely injure an enemy or maybe even kill it, depends on who you're killing. In the future, when we upgrade our claws to greater levels, it allows us to deal even more damage either with simple attacks or with charge up attacks. Now, some people suggest that charge up attacks are very situational. I wouldn't entirely agree with that. In terms of the current weapon that you have, the claw, it's not really that situational. You can charge it up right away because your energy bar barely gets depleted from that. You can keep it held down like that and wait for the enemy, like now, and then swipe them, and before they can even attack you, they're already severely injured. It's much easier for you to knock them out. Really evens out the odds later on, because right now it's okay if you don't use the charge up attacks. There's not a whole lot of enemies to worry about. But later there will be a lot more, and there will be a lot more dangerous enemies as well. So you have to use the charge up attacks to get... Shit, why didn't he jump? Fuck. But yeah, you want to have the charge up attacks ready before attacking the enemy so that you would have an easier time killing them. I guess I need to go that way. With some of the later abilities and weapons, charge up attacks may not be as useful as, well, with a claw or something else. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. We'll get to that later. Right now we only have one ability. The claw can also be upgraded 5 levels. Everything can be upgraded up to level 5. Keep that in mind. Currently I'm running around with Kusano, the heavy guy. And I really don't know why he didn't jump that gap. I'm pretty sure I pressed the button. Maybe he glitched out. It's okay. More exploding watermelons. Right, careful with us. They may look pretty simple, but yeah, they can rip your guys to shreds if you're not careful. Wouldn't wanna be you when it's exploding all around you. Go over here, you'll encounter a few more spiders as a finisher. Just slice them to pieces and you're done. Yep, mission complete. You can use this opportunity now to collect some of the healing oysters. But you most likely won't need them. Let's see if I can get any more mutation. No, okay. Even if you don't mutate, your mutation bar will still drain because you generated possible chains of mutation, so be careful with that. Also, the more you mutate without really collecting anything, the more you'll start to degenerate some of your abilities. For instance, if I have claws now, and I want to upgrade claws only, I could probably do that. I won't get a huge gain out of it though, and I'll lose some of the abilities that I already have. Like my jump or my speed will start to degenerate. And it can degenerate to a point of no longer existing or no longer being active. If you don't see the icon anymore, but just the bar, the ability is no longer active and you have to get more DNA to reactivate it again. But that's a thing for later. Let's exit the mission. Press F10. You'll be greeted to this delicious screen. where you will be told what have you done and what kind of shit have you killed. We killed 65 aliens and 82 indigenous life forms. Pretty sure you can find more, but it's the first mission. Does it really fucking matter? Not really. Anyway, once you're done gawking at the statistics, press the tick and get the move on. Alright, now that takes care of the first mission. Let's see what the next one has to offer. For some reason missions here are called lands. Not quite sure why is that. But that's okay. On the world screen you can see that the green regions are the ones that you have already taken care of. And the red ones are the ones where will we be going next. Yeah, I told you. The mission area where you really play isn't nearly as big as the one shown here on the map. Unless it's really supposed to be that small, in which case the planet is really fucking tiny. Yeah, let's see. Analysis of the genetic material collected indicates that the hostile non-indigenous creatures are incapable of reproduction. They have no dick and no vagugu. It would appear that these creatures have been created by some organism for its own protection. Perhaps the tentacle egg. Oh wait. Scans have revealed that the seismic activity relates to the rapid appearance of a number of structures interconnected by tentacle-like roots that may serve as conduits. This organism may have caused the destruction of planet W22, which almost sounds like a type of oil that you use for your car, and it has now been carried here on the planetary debris. It is to be treated as a planetary parasite. Hopefully not E. coli. No similar organisms have ever been encountered. Proceed with extreme caution. Deploy your team of Genohunters. Locate and destroy non-indigenous structures in the vicinity. Consider it done, you son of a bitch. This mission, I think we may be able to do a little trick that I like doing. Maybe. It's either this or level 3. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see.